Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Bathing Dangerous. For anyone who's seen our tier rankings of the Mighty Ducks, you'll know that we're big Mighty Ducks fans. So, of course, we've been anticipating the new TV show Mighty Ducks Game Changers. We've just finished watching episode 1, so we're going to have a quick overview of what we think so far.
Hell yeah.
We have a star-studded cast of judges to weigh in on episode 1.
Let's dive right into this. Who wants to start with what they liked about the Mighty Ducks Game Changers episode 1? I'll start if no one else wants to go for it.
No, go ahead.
Okay.
You do it.
I did not like this at all. I just want to get that out of the way. And we can go
That is not meeting the definition of what you're supposed to be talking about.
Well, I just
talk about what I like. Nothing.
Here's what I like, short and simple, and then you guys can go on with it. I liked Gordon Bombay coming back into the fold. It's been like 25 years since my childhood memories of D1, D2, and D3. I just watched D3 last night again. And surprisingly, actually, Gordon's in that way more than I remember him being in that. Like he's not, obviously they picked their times for him to come back, but he still plays like a major role. But anyways, I like seeing Gordon again, coming out on the Zamboni. He looks good. He looks good for like 60 years old or whatever he is. And then also just like he's already got his sassy kind of attitude. Not like an asshole, but he just has like this, I don't know, this gentle voice, but also sassy. That's all I liked about it. You guys can continue.
That's all that you liked?
That's all I liked. I could go on like 20-minute rant about the first episode and what I didn't like. But right now, what I liked, just seeing Gordon walking from the Zamboni out onto the ice with his
You're
little...
telling me you didn't like the podcast kid?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Nothing. Well, I mean, out of all the kids, I liked him the most, but still, no.
He is fantastic.
He's extremely charming.
All right, you guys go.
Okay, I like the idea that I like that the Ducks stayed on their trajectory, and I mean because it makes sense that after winning their district and 90% of the team being selected for Team USA, that would in future years bring in like good players and stuff. So it makes sense that they became this pro team, and then brought in this washed up junior B, long haired guy who was
that guy's from Letterkenny.
He is
Such a good fit.
Yeah. He's awesome. So it makes sense that the team would go that way, and I like the idea for a show that it's not just about the Mighty Ducks again, and they're almost like the Hawks style team. So that's kind of cool. But I don't know. I feel from episode 1, I don't get how it's going to be a TV show rather than just a movie, because it just seems to be following the same thing, ragtag team of misfits who, I don't know, I hope they don't just get good and win the league.
Right.
And you just kind of repeat Mighty Ducks again.
I had those same thoughts, and I think that's exactly I think this is literally going to be a movie across 10 episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
So what did
I like how they've modernized it. I like how there's, like you say, there's like a podcast kid, and they've found a good goalie because he's a gamer and stuff like that. I like that stuff. I like how they've modernized it.
All right, so you enjoy it.
Finding the team was hard. It wasn't just like a montage of them skating around going, "Yeah, Ducks," and just finding all these people.
I agree with most. You kind of covered what I like. I like the podcast kid. I like the guy from Letterkenny. I kind of like, I don't know, as a show, I feel like normally I compare shows to the best shows possible. You're like, is this show as good as Breaking Bad? Is this show good as Game of Thrones? Whatever. Watching this PG Disney Mighty Ducks, there was something very the stakes were low. And I found that just reassuring of just this doesn't have to be good. I have no expectations. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But I should say right now, I've seen the first Mighty Ducks about 20 years ago. All I remember from it is the Flying D, the Mighty Ducks fly together, and Joshua Jackson.
Yeah,
apart from Joshua Jackson, all that stuff's already appeared in the first episode. There's a few Easter eggs in there.
Don't they try out a goalie in an alley? I think I remember that as well.
No, it wasn't the
Fulton.
goalie. It was this kid who everybody thought had an American football scholarship, which
Yeah.
Fulton never really confirmed. He was like, people talk, don't mean nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything.
Okay, so you can play or not. Yeah, that was Fulton Reed, who just had this wicked slap shot,
Yeah.
but he didn't know how to skate. But they took him
Okay.
to the mall, and then they learned how to skate.
Yeah, but at some point they're in an alley, like making a dog take a shit so that they can throw it into a person's car. So maybe that's what you also remembered. All right.
I like there was a couple. I mean, they had to. There's a couple of Easter eggs in there, like the new stadium is
Yeah.
Hendricks Arena, which was the sponsors from D2.
Yeah, that was a nice
Like,
little
Hendricks hockey. Yeah,
nod.
and
You guys
his
go
like
deep.
Miami Waves picture on the wall. I was going to ask, was the Ice Palace the original
Yeah.
link?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I was looking the whole
We-
time to see if I could find any Easter eggs. Those are the only three, really: the Ice Palace, Hendrix, and then the Waves picture. But I was looking
Yeah.
everywhere in the background. I was pausing it to see if like the
Flying V.
yeah things like that. But that's all I could. I'm sure there's a way more, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any
sorry,
other
Joe, go ahead.
likes? No, you go ahead.
Oh yeah. I didn't. It's not really a like or a dislike. I like obviously that Bombay's back, but I hope they're going to explain why he hates hockey and kids again.
That was so painful. Of just like, just help the team move along. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Just a little
Like,
bit of
he did
positivity would
pretty
go
well.
a long way.
It did a lot for his life, like hockey and kids.
Yeah.
So I don't get why he so suddenly hates them again. And if you hate them, why do you own an ice rink?
Well,
That you
yeah.
maintain?
Yeah. I mean, that's part of my I'm ready to rip this bitch apart. So you got if that's all you've liked about the thing. So you both thought it was like generally a nice watch. Like you didn't have to think too hard, but you just enjoyed
No.
the episode.
And the mum plays a good. I mean, she's basically playing the exact same mum as Gilmore Girls, but she
Yeah.
plays a good part.
Yeah,
fine.
she's fine. Yeah.
It make
I
like the
think-
main kid. He makes sense.
Right.
He was
as
kind of bland,
the
to be
character.
honest with
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think that if you're comparing this show, especially like you open up Disney Plus, you're like, look at all these great things I could be watching. Comparing it to everything else, I don't know if I would be like, absolutely, can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, it was pleasant to watch.
And that's the thing, though. I was thinking if this was a brand new thing, if I hadn't grown up with the Mighty Ducks movies,
Right.
if this was just a brand new thing, I probably wouldn't give it the time of day.
Right. I took some notes for this shit when I was doing it. So I
Okay.
did have
Oh,
one more
baby.
like. I did have one more like before I get into the dislikes, but I wrote
Okay, I'm ready to challenge everything you said.
I wrote Nick's an adorable little guy, wins your heart, fatter version of Sean Austin from the Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
So so I did write down so he was when I watched the
Is
episode.
that a like?
Yeah, so that would have been a like. So
Okay.
Nick is like he's an adorable little dude, but other than that,
Mhm.
yeah. So do we want to move on to what we disliked?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
All right, so do you guys want to start and then right when you're done, I can just fucking rattle these off or what? Or do you want me to go first?
My dislikes. It's the more just like unknowns. I didn't like how it was kind of I feel like it was a cheap way to bring Gordon back in. Like he happens to own the Ice Palace. Like, hey, don't ask me to coach this team when he's obviously going to coach them.
I hate hockey.
Yeah.
Hey, hockey, I don't like kids. Like,
see
that
the
was how he
sign?
Started D1.
Yeah.
You see the sign? No hockey. It's an ice rink. Yeah, so I feel like that was a bit of a cheap entrance for him, and he could have had some cooler backstory rather than just being a washed-up ice rink owner. There's no way in this day and age, the way hockey is, because that's true, that kids having like sports psychologists and shit from like a young age, I get that, and that's true. That's not really an exaggeration. So I don't like that maybe this team's just going to like pull together and win, because that would just never happen in a million years.
Right. Yeah.
There's no way they're beating that Ducks team.
Yeah.
This is kind of like my dislike as well, was just like they kind of went on like she did. I know it was supposed to be like a joke, but she does this speech about like you're micromanaging your kids. And it was kind of tonally weird of like, I get the Mighty Ducks are scrappy and the other, like, this isn't what kids are supposed to be. But it was kind of a weird, like, is there like is this show supposed to have like a message behind it, or is this like just setting up the fact that it's a ragtag team? Like,
Yeah.
that was a little weird. I felt the mom had a couple odd scenes, especially when she first met Gordon Bombay, where she's like talking about her dance routine she did, and she's kind of like talking slowly, taking her time telling this story, and then he would just be like, "That's nice. I don't do hockey." Like, it was like they were in two different TV shows.
He's so quick to just snap back every single time.
Yeah.
Like there's no pause.
I found the dance section weird as well. Like,
that was weird.
Too long.
I guess like she seems to be like the main character of the show, which seems a little weird to me, but
yeah, I think she definitely is. Like, I think that's what they're focusing. Well, are you guys done with the dislikes? Because then I'll just go on my
that was
rant.
it for me. It was a little bit weird tonally, but
yeah.
All right.
I guess just in general that it's followed so far has followed a precedent set by like every Disney sport movie ever.
Yeah, I mean they do, like the Bad News Bears blueprint from the like fucking 80s or whenever it came out. But
yeah, sure.
All right, I'll throw these out there.
Run it down,
and then
tear it apart.
I will, and then you try to challenge me on whatever I say here. I'm just looking at the notes right now. Again, definitely I'm probably biased, right? Because it's like my childhood movie.
Sure.
Right.
Well, mine too.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So I'm trying. I'm still gonna watch the entire season. I hope that they can like bring it somewhere decent. Okay, but here's what I'm thinking. Disney is like a multi-billion corporation or whatever, right?
Sure.
They have endless amounts of money. You have this franchise that is beloved from 25 years ago, and it has 3 movies, and it has characters and lore from each of those 3 movies. It's not so. So you have that, right? You think you could bring in good writers to sit down.
You could bring in Joshua Jackson.
Yeah. So we'll get to that. But you think you could bring in decent writers to sit down at a table and not come up with basically the most bland, vanilla fucking storyline that you could possibly think of. So like you bring this back after 25 years. You get Gordon, right? You get Emilio Estevez. That's perfect. Good. And then you bring him in and you decide, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to have him be the hermit that whatever, he's at the Ice Palace and he hates hockey now. Okay, perfect. So he's basically back to where he was in D1, where he hates kids and he hates hockey. Okay, so now we have to find out how he gets to this point. Like what, and that's going to be the secret or the storyline, right? And then you get the very start of this episode. I'll try to go quick after this, but the very start of this episode, you get this like Radio Free Roscoe looking motherfucker, and he's in this. It's the fat kid Nick, and he's with that girl, and they're doing commentary of a Mighty Ducks practice, where you find out that these guys are like AAA, whatever. And how old do you think these kids are? Grade 8? Is that, like he said, he's 13, I think.
Well, they're just entering the 10 to 14 level, aren't they?
Okay, yeah. So if you guys played hockey when you were growing up,
12 to 14, maybe they're 11.
When you get to grade 7 or 8, you're fucking flying around the ice. Like, there's kids that are absolutely incredible. So I'm watching this, and you're telling me Disney can't even get these kids into like a hockey lesson type thing where they can actually learn to skate? Even the Mighty Ducks players, this fucking powerhouse franchise, the kids can barely fucking skate. And the kid, what's his name? What's the main character's name?
Couldn't tell you.
Ethan?
And I think there's a lot of value in the fact that I couldn't tell you.
Anyway, he's on the Mighty Ducks, so he made this team. All right, and if you go to any like AAA hockey, even in a small town in Canada or the United States, if you get onto like a AA or a AAA team, you're fucking good. So if you're telling me that the Mighty Ducks is this powerhouse team in Minnesota, where they even have commentary on a practice, then this guy can barely skate when he gets onto his whatever. Those are just small nitpicky things, whatever. But when I'm watching, I'm like, what is going on here? Anyways, we keep going.
Yeah, I get that, especially for you who you've played growing up and you know what hockey should look like.
Right.
I mean, I didn't pick up on that because I don't know what a good 10-year-old should look like.
Right.
Can I argue with you saying Disney had all this money and everything?
Well, yeah.
I feel like, was it like hilarious? No. but like in terms of setting up a Mighty Ducks plot,
Yeah.
it's effective, you know? Like I just don't know like if you're just expecting Avengers Endgame in the form of Mighty Ducks.
Well, maybe
like,
that's what I was thinking. I thought that after 25 years, if you're bringing this beautiful franchise out of the vault, if you're bringing them back, then I thought here, this will be the last part that I talk about for the episode, but I was looking at Netflix's Cobra Kai, right? And I was thinking, Disney, all you have to do, you have a blueprint right in front of you. You have the Karate Kid, which was made for whatever, kids and young adults, and even adults liked it. You brought that back and you gave if you guys have watched it anyways, I watched the first season and the second season, and I got hooked pretty quickly, even though I wasn't like a Karate Kid fan, because you have these two guys from the original, and now they both are dealing with their own problems. So like one of them is having issues like just he has a family, he has a job, he's successful, but he's lacking like this inner whatever, this feel like fulfilling whatever in his life, a midlife crisis. And he's thinking about like his past and things that have happened. And then you have this other guy who's having issues with his family. His kid doesn't like him. He's an alcoholic. So you have these things that people can relate to. And then you have these teenagers, these young teens that, again, they're splitting the screen time probably 50-50. So instead of doing something like that, where you could have anything, if you wanted to focus it on Gordon being the main character,
right.
you could have had him. You could have had him being an alcoholic. You could have, maybe he had a family. Something happened to his family. Maybe you're trying to figure that out instead of just this like sassy hermit Gordon. You could have had any
it would have been it would have been interesting to do Goldberg's actual life.
Yeah, exactly. And that
isn't he in prison?
Well, no, I think he's I think he's just gotten out of rehab and he's actually doing better, which is good. But you could have had
I know what you're saying.
You could have had any of the kids, any of the Mighty Ducks. You could have had them be the main story point.
Right. Lead the way with characters that people already know to introduce the new characters.
And then
instead of Gordon Bombay being a bit of an afterthought.
Yeah, you could have had Josh Jackson if he wanted to come back, which I don't see why he wouldn't have. You could have had him be like, maybe he's lost his job, maybe he's lost his family, who knows. And maybe you bring Gordon in to help Charlie kind of be that mentor again, and then have them focus on the Ducks. And first, I didn't like that the Ducks are like this evil, like I get it, I guess. I get that they've turned into like the Hawks, but it just, like, why even call it the Mighty Ducks if it's just gonna, I don't know, if they're not gonna be the focal point. Last thing, and I guess that's it really.
Wait. Let me pitch you an idea that I think would address all your concerns.
Yeah.
You tell me if this sounds fair. You get Joshua Jackson to come back. He's probably like 40 or 50.
Yeah,
now.
He's like 42, probably 43.
He plays a 15-year-old boy who the Ducks are still together, but he's now grown too old to play.
Yeah.
And so he's dealing with these demons of watching the Ducks fall apart before his eyes, but he's not young enough to play anymore.
Jesus.
While being a 45-year-old man. And then you bring in the new characters.
Maybe
I think that's a compromise.
Maybe he's been in a coma for like 10 years. And the last thing he remembers is graduating from Eden Hall Academy.
The last thing he remembers is being in the final game and a puck coming towards his face.
I think that I lost my thought, but I think that's it. I think just you had the blueprint in front of you of Cobra Kai and how people have really attached themselves to Cobra Kai. And I think you hamstrung, if that's the right word, yourself into this, like, you didn't make it for the fan base of the kids at the time. You didn't make it for like the 35-year-olds. You made it for like grade 5, 6 kids.
Right.
So, that's actually what I think they've done. I don't think they've gone to do a spin-off of the Mighty Ducks. I think they've just tried to modernize the original and have made TV shows instead of, because it's like they're just redoing the movies all over again.
Right.
I think you're right, but it's another thing where I've seen advertisements for Disney Plus saying, get Disney Plus and you can watch the Mighty Ducks Game Changers, which, like, to me is appealing directly to the people who have nostalgia for this show.
But
because they're relying on the name alone to sell it.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, Cobra Kai, they are succeeding because they're throwing in all the fan, what do you call it? when you give something, oh, why can't I remember the word? Like when you give something to the fans of something that they've, like in Star Wars, they lacked a lot of the fan service. That's it. So you're
Yeah.
like Cobra Kai, they give 100% fan service. Every single episode, there's something from the past that they're bringing in.
Yeah, yeah.
Mighty Ducks is made for that. You have like 30 characters that you
There's
could
so
bring back.
much. I
And
know.
already, I bet you anything, if I think there's like 9 episodes in the season, I bet you at some point they bring back like 5 ducks. Gordon's like, I brought in some people to help you guys out. Maybe they can teach you a little something. And then 5 of the ducks are gonna come in, or 6 of the ducks are gonna come in, and they're gonna be there for 10 minutes, and then they're not gonna be back again. Like they're just gonna have
Yeah, and then suddenly there'll be an amazing team.
yeah, like the Averman's
Just a
gonna be there.
montage.
Yeah, like Louise
yeah.
is
And
gonna
then
teach them to
someone will
stop.
like, not bad, kid.
Yeah, like
You might have it after all.
yeah, I bet you they're just gonna have them for, even though they have enough money to bring them all back for like I guess maybe
Yeah.
I could see them bringing like one of them back who has a kid and he decides to join the team. Like Connie Moreau comes back and she has like a daughter or son that joins the team.
But that could have been the whole show.
Yeah.
Like the entire show could have been like Lester Averman's son.
Yeah.
Who's like an incredible player.
Yeah.
And Lester has no idea how to deal with that.
Exactly. You could have had it focus. Or I don't know why they didn't make it focus around one of the players with a single, whatever, being a single parent with a kid, and then starting up the team, and then getting Gordon to come back and help out and be a mentor. Like Charlie would have been
I think
perfect
they're
for it.
honestly just trying to redo the whole Mighty Ducks thing again for a new era.
I get, well, yeah, I get.
Exactly what they did in the first time round.
Again, if you guys have any more dislikes, then, but again, I didn't find any of the kids interesting. Like Nick is adorable. The main character, he's no Charlie. He's kind of just bland, like you said before.
Wait, who's Nick? I thought
The podcast
Sean
kid?
Austin
Is
kid.
that
Yeah,
Nick?
yeah,
Oh,
I think
podcast
Nick
kid.
is the podcast kid. And then they have
right,
like,
he's brilliant. My pudding.
He's really,
That
really quite
made me
good.
laugh.
and then they have
That was
like,
his tray. My pudding.
they have the Connie Moreau girl.
I liked Coob, the goalie guy,
Right.
Yeah.
but I feel like they did a lot of those characters dirty of just like the side ponytail girl. I don't know who any of these kids' names are, and I don't know anything about her. Like, a bunch of those, the guy who just like agrees to dares, like
Yeah,
they
that
gave
was a
them
bit.
no time.
Yeah, I can't remember any other name. Like Sam, I think, is the black kid that likes to rollerblade and he like jumps into vending machines and shit. And then I
It's
think,
such a 2D character. Hey, you want him
Yes.
to do something, he'll do it.
yeah,
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 you to score a goal.
yeah.
Let's go and score one.
I
I
forgot.
thought it was so funny that they had like the parents like this theme of like the parents being super controlling and everything.
Right.
And then they put this ragtag team together, and then like 7 kids all arrive at the ice palace without parental supervision. They all just like show up at the door.
I-
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so do we want to move on? I think I'm sure there was more I disliked,
Sure.
but
I
that was
think fundamentally what you're saying, we both agree with. It's just I think you really are invested and you really want this to be good. And
I
think
did.
that I came at it from a perspective of someone expecting nothing.
right. Yeah, I probably should have gone in expecting nothing, but I just thought with all the lore that they could have used already, just from the first episode, again, I liked the first episode. Like, I just think that they're going in a direction that I'm absolutely going to hate.
I think the whole message of that first episode was around don't take this too seriously, it's meant to be fun.
Yeah,
I
with
feel
the,
like that's just what they've done in general.
right.
And it's just another similar story, and here's some Easter eggs with it.
But do you want to settle for that when you have
No, I
billions of
don't.
dollars?
You're absolutely right. They clearly don't have much of a respect for the previous stories.
Like, this hasn't taken too much thought
No,
thrown together
no, not at all.
so far.
All right, well then what do we think about like favorite player or like the characters that they've introduced compared to previous Mighty Ducks characters? What do you guys think about that?
Like, for me, Podcast Kid took it from like a 4 to an 8.
Who do you think he represents? Like if they picked a blueprint from the last D3, like D1 to 3 movies, who do you think they're trying
Like
to?
a cool, witty Averman. Really.
Yeah, I saw him as like an Averman kind of or a Goldberg. Like
Can I make a prediction on the podcast, kid?
he's gonna
I
die in a
think-
car accident.
I'm very similar. I think he's not going to be the best hockey player. He's not going to be effective on the ice.
Right.
But near the end, when it really matters, he's going to be like taken out with a dirty play.
Jesus.
Like someone will injure him, but he's the heart of the team, right? And so it'll inspire the rest of them to reach new heights.
Oh no! You think he's going on a stretcher out of the ring?
Not necessarily. Like he's gonna twist his ankle because somebody put their stick in front of him, and he's gonna hold onto it and go.
Thing is, though, if he's actually considering a career in sportscasting, and he's currently like the commentator for the best team in the country,
he dropped that podcast so quickly.
Is that you'd drop that gig just to like hang out with your friend?
Yeah.
Because he's obviously considering it, like he's obviously taking it seriously. That's as good as for his age. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, he's doing well for himself. What if it does take a dark turn and he just breaks his neck? Everything's happy, everything's good. It's all grade 5, 6 like bullshit, and then someone just cross checks him in the back. He goes right into the board, starts seizuring on the ground, blood coming out of his nose. And then they have to pick it up, and it just gets super dark.
This whole show is just a big public service announcement for like concussions. And
oh God, I hope not. All right, so then Nick, I think we all agree Nick is our favorite character so far as the kid. It's not like there's many to choose from. There's like 6 of them.
I liked Coob. I liked the goalie kid. I thought that was just so stupid when they threw stuff at him and he just slapped it away.
I like that. Maybe, I don't know if they were thinking this, but maybe again I'm thinking too much into it, where you see the blonde-haired kid with the mushroom cut and he's like this good looking, he looks like Adam Banks, and you're like, okay, he's gonna be like the Adam Banks type character that's gonna like bring them along, and then he turns out to be shit. And then you look at the goalie who looks like Goldberg basically, and you're like, okay, this is gonna be your classic shitty goalie. And then he is a shitty goalie, but he can catch everything. He just can't put it all together onto the ice. But
sure.
I mean, I don't know. But podcasting kid was my fave, and then we got the goalie, and then another podcasting. So
Toronto kid. And
it's probably not good that the main character is not our favorite at all. He just does not have I'm not feeling it. I think his name was Ethan or Evan. Something like that. But he's got to pick it up. And I don't feel like I don't want to take it out on the kid actors, because it all comes down to just shitty writing.
Writers.
It's just fucking awful.
There was enough there for me to like keep watching and see where it goes though.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no, like I want to see what happened to Gordon. Like I think it's going to be a bullshit reason for why he stopped. Like I don't think anything is going to be actually like a twist or anything.
I hope it's not some like pride thing where it's the Ducks organization went the wrong way. You know what I mean?
I think who knows?
Illusion with hockey because they all started like caring about winning.
Oh my God! If that's it, like they didn't play it the right way, and I needed to step out.
Yeah. I told them soft hands.
Oh God. But yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be anything.
Maybe something happened to Joshua Jackson.
See that I would respect them. I would respect them if he had a family or something, and I don't know why I want things to be so dark, but if something happened to his family,
it makes it a bit more realistic and less Disney-fied.
Yeah, it really does feel like they've started again with it. Like they just refreshed the same character of like starting where he was before, right?
Yeah, like all that progression. By the end of D3, he's like, he knows that he has to leave because he has a job with the Goodwill Games to be like the director of player personnel. So he's going to be in charge of all this shit. So he gets these kids into this incredible academy for a full-time scholarship over high school so that they can go on with their lives. Then he comes back and like teaches Charlie about the new coach when they're not seeing eye to eye, and tells him like, this guy is a good guy. He has a kid who was in a car accident and he brings her to go skating every morning before practice. And then he helps them out with like staying in and keeping their scholarships. He becomes a lawyer again. So he has like this good arc. And at the end, he sees them win and he's in the crowd and Charlie sees him and he like nods his head and then he walks out. You see like the light shining in the background and Gordon Bombay walks out into the fucking
what happened next?
Yeah. And so you're telling me all that shit just to end up as a fucking hermit
Honestly, I don't even want to know the reason because it's just like it's going to be like one of four things. It's going to be like he had a family and he was too into hockey, or
yeah,
it's just going to be something stupid.
That's
like you're going to wish you didn't know.
The difference between them, I think, so far is Cobra Kai doesn't work without Karate Kid.
yeah, I forget his name.
This show so far works independently without the Mighty Ducks.
I guess
it's cool knowing Gordon Bombay was the thing, but they just as easily explained, "Oh, you used to be the coach," and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, that's true. The cool thing about Cobra Kai that they did though was like they made that what's his name, the bully from the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They made him like the main character in Cobra Kai almost. Like it starts with him waking up with beer cans beside his bed, and you're like, oh shit, I get to learn about this guy that was like the bully in the first movie. And now we get to find out like his entire life and what happened to him. But yeah, you're right. Like I guess they don't need
in that continuity and stuff. Whereas with Bombay, it's just he played hockey once. He used to be the coach, and that you could like knows as much as we do, and he hasn't seen the first three things. I think just from Game Changers, you know all you need to know.
Nothing about this show is like related to the unique to the Mighty Ducks. This is just any sport. That's why I said the thing about the podcast kid, because it's just like it's Remember the Titans, right? Like it's
Well, that's one more thing that I didn't like so far. I mean, it could definitely change. I think I'm being a little too picky as far as this goes. I just didn't like that. I mean, when it comes to the Mighty Ducks, the players are almost secondary to the coaches. Like the players have the helmets on, so you can't really relate to them until they take their helmets off. But like you have Coach Bombay, you have Coach Riley from the first D1, who's like an asshole and like almost runs like a dictatorship over his kids. Like he treats them like shit. And then you have, what's his name, Stanson, the dentist Stanson from the second one. Mm-hmm. But like they have this guy, this Letterkenny guy, great like actor, super funny.
I thought he was good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think they used him enough. I hope they use him more because I feel like he's just like this face in the background. I don't know. He had that good like talking to the main character, like, you're just not good enough, and if blah blah blah, what's the point? But I hope they use him more. That's all.
I think that's fair.
I mean, yeah, I just hope they use the coaches more because the Mighty Ducks is all about, I mean, it's about the kids, obviously. But again, I just want a balance between, like, clearly there's not enough Gordon in the first episode.
No, it's a weird balance of the main kid's mom, the main kid, Gordon every once in a while, it is a little bit all over the place in terms of, like, I don't know if, like, episode 2 is going to come on and it's, like, the main kid waking up and getting ready in the morning, or it's the mom. Like, I don't know who is going to be followed.
Right. And obviously they're setting up some type of, I mean, Gordon's a ladies' man. And then at the end of the first episode, even though he's been completely turned off to this, like, mom, right at the end, up to his old Gordon tricks, he has that song playing like on the iPod, and then she comes out to skate in the middle of the rink, and you're just like,
the Whitney Houston.
Yeah, you're shaking your head like, fucking Gordon already. He sees a hockey mom, and he's all over that shit.
All right, so what do we think is going to happen next, or where do we think the trajectory is going of this show?
Fucking down a hole. That's where it's fucking going.
I hope it's not going to these guys find a way to get good and they win. I hope it's not.
I think that's exactly, and I'm fascinated to see it spread across like 10 episodes of like they're gonna have to lose, right? So does that mean like
Big
episode
time.
2 through 4 they lose but they get better? And then, like, the last couple episodes, like, is there going to be a montage of them winning? Is each episode going to be them winning one?
See,
like, you know, the end of it is going to be them playing the finals, their like championship win.
Right.
See, it could be something like something happens to Letterkenny guy, and like I mean, because they only have 6 or 7 players right now, and then the team just isn't coming together and they can't figure it out, and then Gordon ends up taking back over the Ducks.
Oh, shit.
These kids on the team, and he's like, I don't want kids with the wrong attitude, and they end up binning.
Oh, shit.
No, this is
that would be, see,
happen.
That would
You're
be,
way too
that would be a great twist. That would be great.
Yeah.
And that's how they bring it back to the Mighty Ducks. But I feel like, you're too creative.
I
Yeah.
would like that. And then the main kid's friend, the girl who like hurt her leg, who's like the
Yeah.
perfectionist. If like they go into shootouts and she's about to take the final shot, and Gordon puts his hand on her shoulder and says, "No, let the main kid take it. He's ready."
Now that it's not a movie, they don't have to finish this shit in an hour and 30 minutes.
No, I
So
know. That's why I'm hopeful.
yeah, so I'm saying like if they were smart, or maybe you guys don't think this would be smart, but if they actually want to continue this on and make it like right now it's like childish shit, right? Which is great. It's for the next generation of kids who want to watch hockey. I'm cool with that. But if you want to continue with these kids up until like their high school days and like bring it into more serious things, then this season they could suck the entire season and just get their ass handed to them every single fucking time. At some point, because it's the Mighty Ducks like blueprint, at some point, probably like episode 5, they're gonna play the Ducks. They're gonna get their asses fucking handed to them. And then they're gonna play them again at some point in the playoffs or something. And then if it's going down this non-creative road, then they're gonna find a way to beat the Ducks, even though there's absolutely no fucking way that they could beat like a triple A team. But like so if they wanted to, they could just play this season, getting to know Gordon, get him back into the mix, and then have the next season be where they actually start to like win and just get their ass kicked this entire season.
There's no way. I strongly disagree.
I thought it's going to revert to the Ducks the second the mum said our team name is the Don't Bothers.
Yeah, okay.
Like, there's no way you base a show on such like a... I thought they were going to be the Game Changers. Make more sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
As soon as you call the team the Don't Bothers, I thought this team isn't the show and can't be.
Yeah.
Stupid name.
Why do you have
it was a very stupid name.
It was such a stupid name. Like, you could pick a better stupid name. Like, why Don't Bother? Like, I get it, but still, like, why? That was another thing I wrote, now that you remind me. They shouldn't have got the jerseys right away.
Did they get jerseys? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, I think so. Didn't they get jerseys right away? Like, at the end of the episode?
Oh, maybe.
Really?
I don't know. If it could be episode 2 then that I'm thinking of, but I think they got it right at the end of episode 1, and I just thought to myself, like, why are you getting the jerseys so quickly?
See, I think this team. I don't think this is the team that the show is going to be about.
That would be, if you called that correctly, that would be such a. I would give them props for doing that.
I think you're setting yourselves up for disappointment. You're thinking too much. They clearly don't have much consideration for the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
I think this is just going to be a one-off restart.
Whew.
Yeah,
all right.
They're definitely just going to go through, win, and then it'll end with the mum skating up to Letterkenny guy going, "Hey, glad we bothered," and it'll go off.
Yeah. Okay. So then, if we all just think what happens next, so I guess we pretty much think either it's going to take some crazy creative twist, or it's just going to follow that same boring ass blueprint of every sports movie.
Yeah.
And they're going to end up winning the championship somehow at the end of the first season after sucking balls.
From what we've seen so far, that's the way it's going. I'm just hoping for a crazy.
I don't know.
I'm interested to see that though, because like I just think that like every week a new episode comes out, right? And so like, isn't that weird of just like, oh, let me check out this new episode, and they just like lose the whole episode?
That's a really good point.
Weird pacing.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, if you just tune in every week to watch them get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
It can't just be the next like long version part of a movie.
Ah, you're right.
Yeah.
They are going to end up fucking winning somehow at the end of their first season.
Of course.
But I wonder how long they planned this out to go. Like if they thought, well, we could make this a series for the next 5 years, or if they thought it was just going to be like a one and done type situation.
Cut and dry. Yeah.
I'm just so disappointed that they did Gordon dirty like that. Hopefully they pick it up. But all right, so then
I don't know. I have high hopes. Like the fact it's called Game Changers as well. I think something's got to give.
No way.
It can't just be a like rags to riches story.
It absolutely can be.
I won't let it.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, but if I can come up with an idea, start talking to you guys in 10 minutes, then that's like F you, Disney.
That's what I brought it back when I said, like, they're sitting around a table to bring this fucking franchise back from the dead. And you
Yeah.
have all that stuff, all those like the history of the players and Gordon Bombay, and this is what you came up with for a first episode.
It's all we've seen. It's all we've seen.
Yeah. Did you guys find that like the episode seemed a little like either it just seemed way too short for what they, I don't know, like the story, it was like it started and then it ended, and I felt like it could have been like 20 minutes longer. It feels like it just kind of, they
It's
didn't,
like for what they achieved in that short amount of time.
yeah, like
they kind of
nothing,
rushed
nothing
through.
happened. Like almost, I just want more Gordon time. I think that's it. I just think they could have put more Gordon into it.
But it's like he's going to, it's like he's a regular guy going to a costume party as Coach Bombay. It's just all of the most classic lines and attitude, and there's no, it's not that it's the same character, it's like a cartoon of his character. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and I think the painful thing is going to be, it's going to be like half the season before he's like fully invested, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God. All right. So then, last thing that we could do for this episode, then we'll give a rating. Does it live up to the hype after 25 years of being in the grave, coming back? Does it live up to the hype?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't think it does in terms of like carrying on the torch.
Right.
But I do think I don't know. Like I do like that, like it's Disney Plus. They're trying a TV show. They have my interest. We'll see what happens.
That's all it has going for it so far. The fact it's a TV show. Like if that
Yeah.
was the first 25 minutes of an hour and a half movie, I would have already turned it off.
That you're right. That brings up, like, I am
The
grateful
TV show
that they
gives
brought it.
potential.
Yeah, like they didn't have to
Yeah.
bring this back. They could have clearly just left it. So I'm glad that they probably got people, like they heard fans obviously talking about bringing it back. Could I just paint a picture of how it should have started to get everyone excited?
All sad. Yeah,
Here's
go ahead.
okay, and this is just fucking again, Disney, they had a team of people sitting down that are meant to write scripts and shit. Here's how you fucking like build up excitement for this goddamn thing. Close your eyes and picture this. People listening, close your eyes and picture this. Tell me if you would have been
Disney,
excited.
close your eyes.
Yeah.
And listen.
So the show, it starts out and you just see a ceiling in the background, and you can hear this fucking hard pounding noise, just like this pounding noise on a wall. And then the camera, it like slowly pans down from the ceiling, and you can see like framed pictures of the ducks on the wall. You see like all these framed pictures of like Charlie and Julie the cat Gaffney. And then it keeps going down, and you can see like these newspaper articles of these accomplishments from like the Pee Wee champs and the Goodwill Games. And then the
Colleges they went to.
yeah, and the viewer starts to think like, oh shit, we're about to see like one of the ducks all grown up in like a bar or so, like it's whatever, like their den in the basement where they hang out with their friends or something. And then rock music starts fucking blaring in the background. And there's still, are you excited so far? I peaked? Okay, I've piqued your interest. So then the camera keeps going down, right? And you can still hear this pounding and then this rock music playing. And you see it's from like, an old radio from like the 80s or something. And then I might lose you here. And then you see just this sweaty back, like glistening in the sunlight, and a tattoo. And no, you don't know yet. You just see a sweaty back, and it's glistening in the sunlight. And there's a tattoo that says "Ducks Fly Together." And then boom, just the camera pans, and it's 60-year-old Gordon Bombay, and he's wiping sweat from his brow. And this girl sits up, and she's like clearly like a 45-year-old hockey mom who's like waiting for her son's skates to be sharpened in the back. And she looks at Gordon and she says something like, wow, that was a game changer. And then it pans back to and then it pans back to Gordon. And one bead of sweat is like dropping from his chin, and he smirks. Right.
Turned it off.
He smirks right into the camera, and he says, "Shut up, bitch." And then boom, the lights on like an empty hockey arena turn on one by one, and you can see the Mighty Ducks theme song, and it fucking comes just blaring in the background, and the drums kick in, and the logo starts to illuminate in the middle of the arena. You hear like the dun, 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 and the
Just
lights
still going.
and the lights are just like, and then in the middle of the ice, Gordon is standing there in his classic green and yellow and like purple jersey, and he looks into the camera one last time. This is the end. Like he looks into the camera, and then he just says like, "Ready for round 2," and then that's it, and then it just starts.
What starts?
And the
Where
episode.
on earth are you, where on earth
The
are you going?
start is just the end.
No, and then okay, and then episode 1 shows up on a black screen, and it just says the Quack Attack is back, and that's the title
Okay,
of episode
because
1.
This is how like D4 would have started. This isn't 25 years.
You're saying you wouldn't get hyped up if that happened?
Oh my god.
I would.
Okay.
You had me at the photos and stuff. I was waiting for like revelation of something to happen, like how they're all amazing news articles and stuff, and then they turn sad, and there's a couple of like tragedies that have happened.
Oh no!
And
Okay,
then it's like just like old Joshua Jackson brushing his teeth with his like stump, with his like prosthetic hand,
That's actually a really good idea.
Because
rather
you
than
got to
Gordon's tattooed sweater.
Okay, because you got to do your
Yeah, go
obscene
for it.
intro.
Yeah, go for
I
it.
would like to propose the way the Game Changers ends.
Okay.
They win the championship. It's everything you hate. It's just 10 episodes leading up. The podcast kid holds the trophy over his head. Everybody's winning. Everybody's happy. Gordon Bombay is smiling. And then all of a sudden, Gordon Bombay is in a hospital bed and he goes, and it's all been a dream in his mind. The camera just slowly pulls away. He's just in a hospital bed with a beard, fingernails, just 12 inches long, and that was it.
Oh shit! And then they don't even have a season 2. That you just don't know what happened. That's
Then
incredible.
nurses and doctors run in, and you just hear.
You cut off there, but I'm guessing you did the Mighty Ducks theme song to end it.
No, I said that his heart monitor flatlined.
Oh shit! That's great. Fuck.
I think that's it.
All right,
Yeah,
so
we're good.
so we all think basically it didn't live up to the hype.
I'm open to what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see it go.
So I mean, people listening, you can comment if you think it lived up to the hype or not. But why don't we give our ratings now, and then we'll just cut it there and wait till episode 2 comes out. I'm gonna give it for the first episode. Again, I mentioned how I disliked a lot of things. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 just because it's the first episode. It made
Jesus, you went so hard on that.
well,
for a 7 out of 10.
I think it's gonna go.
I
this
was
is the
expecting a 3.
no. This
I
is
thought
the
3 for
only
sure.
generous. It's the only generous fucking score I think I'm gonna give it. But I just think it at least made me. First of all, it made me smile when Gordon showed up. Okay, it was like a good intro to Gordon, and then it just made me curious about. It's gonna make me continue watching because I want to know why he is the way he is. Other than that, absolute dog shit. And I'll just give it a 7 out of 10 for the first episode.
I hated every minute, so it's a 9 for me.
Someone else go.
I'm gonna, even though I don't know, I feel weird saying it because you hated it and gave it, but I was gonna say 7 too.
7
because I liked it.
Okay.
It's good for me.
I don't know. I guess I'd give it 7.5. Just I don't have the baggage of the Mighty Ducks. Just as a like, whatever. I'm interested to see where this goes. It's easy to watch. You know.
Right. Okay.
That's about my feelings. You know.
So anything else? We got 7, basically an average 7 out of 10. Episode 1, Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
All right, everybody, email in your submissions of a sweaty Gordon Bombay back with a ducks fly together tattoo.
Okay, in the comments, tell me if you think that would be if that would have got you hyped up for the episode. Just Gordon slamming a hockey mom into his bed.
Please don't do that.
All right. Well,
I'd rather not have the engagement.
Please subscribe and like this video or dislike it. Leave a comment, please, on what you thought of episode 1, and then we will see you again for the episode 2 review of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Have a good night or day.
See you next time.